Harjap Singh Bhangal, who's an immigration lawyer. Harjap, is there another side to this, which is actually the current law in itself is fine. What we just need is more people to look at it and process it, and then we'd weed out the people who are, frankly, taking the mick in the channel?
I think that's a sort of fair assessment. We need perhaps a few tweaks to the law, but the fact is it's being administered by a system that's broken, by an administration that's broken. I mean, every MP hears a select committee report every year for at least the past 10 years. I've been listening to it, you've not listened to it, your viewers listen to it, where we're told the Home Office is broken. You can't expect a broken system to administer rules properly. So therefore, although the scheme was put in good faith, and I think perhaps we need to talk about how much good it's done. It's prevented a lot of people from being in slavery. We hear of incidents where Chinese migrants get trafficked and get forced to work on the beaches, right? So it's helped them. But every system, to some extent, is abused, whether it's a benefit system, whether it's the NHS, and whether it's the immigration system. It's up to the government to make a system to make sure that abuse is stopped. And therefore what happens is you can't just say, oh, we can't stop the abuse, so we're going to cancel the law, or we're going to cut the law down. And as Sam said, to take the law out is not going to be the right thing to do. But however, we need to treat that to prevent the abuse happening. We've got to understand that the gangs tell these migrants that this is the only way to stay in the UK. This is what you've got to do.
This is why it's being gamed. Now, Harjap, I'm just going to stick with you because you're obviously an immigration lawyer, and then I'll go back to Sam. You mentioned there about the tweakings, right? So which bits of this current thing should be tweaked when it comes to modern slavery, human trafficking stuff? Which bits can we tweak?
Well, I think the threshold at the moment is very low. So I think that if pretty much what we've been told and what we see in practice is if you claim you're a victim of modern slavery, your claim gets looked at differently. You get released into the community while your claim is decided by a separate unit. You're probably given a bit more leeway in relation than that you would instead of an asylum claim. You're not automatically sent back or considered for removal or deportation. So these things need to be tweaked, and these things need to be looked at. And although evidence is required, we do have to understand someone who's been a slave or victim of slavery, they're not going to have pieces of paper to prove that fact. And therefore, we need to develop a system where it's identified who's telling the truth, who isn't, who is gaming the system, who isn't. The method of entry needs to be looked at. The circumstances in which they claim they're being a slave need to be looked at.